Welcome to the Bringing Intimacy Back show, where intimacy is real. If you desire to intimately connect with yourself, significant other, children, family, friends, community, and higher power, then this is the show for you. We explore intimate topics, inspiring life stories, spirituality, and insightful tips on strengthening relationships. The show is hosted by Dr. April and her co-host, Coach K. Let's get this episode of the Bringing Intimacy Back show started. We share with you today the secret power to intimacy to create the life you love or love the life you create. Now here is your host, Dr. April, and her co-host, Coach K.
Welcome to the Bringing Intimacy Back show, where intimacy is real. All right, welcome everyone. And so today, sorry to say Coach K will not be able to make it. Her daughter's graduating, but we have a special guest today. Yes. This young therapist, I've seen her grown, and she, I think, is the perfect person to talk about mental health today. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Thank you.
Yes, welcome, yes. And so, Michelle, I want to make sure I pronounce your last name correctly, and I should know how to pronounce it by now.
No problem.
Yes.
I can't even pronounce it all the time. De Vloot.
Okay, yes. So Michelle is an EMDR therapist that is in Tampa, Florida, and she is one of the most young, bright star therapists who just loves to talk about mental health, and she has so much information. So I thought she'd be great because today's topic is about mental health focused blueprint.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, Michelle, one of the quick questions I have to ask for you is, what made you decide to be a mental health therapist?
Wow, what a powerful question. Well, okay. When I was a little girl, I know my mom talked to me about being very curious about human behavior. I always asked, why? But why is this person behaving this way? So I had a natural born curiosity, as many children do. Mm-hmm. And my mom kind of encouraged that with the questioning of why, But then later on, I faced my own challenges in relationships, experiencing, unfortunately, domestic violence, trauma, and I sought out a therapist, and it was the best experience of my life. It was nothing like that, to have a space held for me where someone could validate me and allow me to speak on anything I wanted to speak on. It's hard to really replicate something like that in real life, where someone is fully listening to you with all of their soul, if you will. So that having that space held for me like that, it just, that coupled with the desire to learn more about human behavior, made me want to hold space for other people in a similar way, in any way I could. So, and I also noticed it's a calling of mine. Okay. I really get passionate and tongue-tied about this subject. I do this with all of me.
Right. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. And actually, today, as I'm thinking about it, we're going to hold space for mental health. And like you said, the curiosity. Yes. So today's topic is really about your mental health and how it's focused, the blueprint, because it's the blueprint inside of us. And for a lot of people, and even including myself, how can I put it? We're curious. Why does this happen? Why does this happen? Why does this, I say I don't want to do something, but I continue to do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I can't wait to dig into this. But before we dig in, and if you're out there, please, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, ask questions, because we're going to be talking a lot about mental health. But one of the things that I want to talk about first is the charity of the month. This is the Mental Health Awareness Month. We're almost on the last day. but one of the great charities that I love to just talk about is mhanational.org, Mental Health America. If you're out there and that's we're talking about different things and you don't know if maybe I'm feeling anxiety, depression, whatever, they have great resources. They have an online screening that can help provide you a lot of information. So definitely check that out. We've been highlighting them, for the rest of the month. Definitely. Yes. So let's talk about mental health. When we think about mental health, people are like, well, what is mental health? What are the common signs, symptoms that I'm having a mental health crisis?
Yeah, absolutely. And, with the signs and symptoms, it varies. It varies between men and women and depending on the society that you live in. So because we have, from the social constructionist perspective, men are not conditioned, right? Men are not conditioned to seek out healthcare or to want to be emotionally available, if you will. We're a program, right? So it can look different for the different gender. And so with men have more externalized types of behaviors. So they may turn to substance use, or they may act out. You may see anger, rage.
Yes.
Yeah. And with women, you may see more internalized behaviors like depression, anxiety. But in any case, in either case, it could be a presentation, right, of a mental health issues, right? Men may just show it a little differently, because some of the research has shown, based on the social constructionist perspective of being conditioned, men sometimes are conditioned to want to be the opposite of women, if you will, right? Exactly. So the emotional independence, they're rewarded for self-reliance and things like that. So they may only seek a doctor for physical symptoms.
Right. And sometimes these physical symptoms can turn people think like, oh my gosh, I have pain here, this or that, or I have headaches. Absolutely. Or dizziness, and sometimes those things are also signs of mental health issues.
Absolutely. That's somatic stuff, right?
Right.
Experiences get trapped in the body. Experiences can get trapped in organs, right? And so this is a real thing they have found. There's a body-mind connection. So, but sometimes it feels more safe, if you will, for some people to talk about body issues, physical issues, right? Yeah. So I would say to do to be courageous. Be courageous and seek out the help, even if you go to the doctor, if that's the avenue you need to go. Speak about all of what's happening. Try to be as vulnerable as possible, because our brains are wired the same, regardless of how we're conditioned. Men can be harmed, women can be harmed, doesn't matter. We have a similar brain. We have more similarities than differences.
Right, definitely. And the brain controls everything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So mental health issues can sometimes also be like, well, I don't know, I don't have energy. I don't want to get out of bed. Oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I can't figure out anything. These are maybe signs.
Absolutely. Also, they have noticed, Dr. Brown, that it can go the opposite way. Some people can become workaholics. They become extremely busy. Because avoiding sitting still and self-reflecting.
Right. Or even just avoiding things that you need to do.
Exactly.
Even a simple thing as taking a shower.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Or also what some people don't realize, maybe a sign of mental health issues, is when you lose interest in things that you enjoy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like I enjoy golf, or I enjoy eating, I enjoy this or that. And you're like, I no longer enjoy any of that. Or life just feels kind of gray.
Absolutely.
No hope.
Yeah. There's a shift that happens. So with depression, the person may notice that they're not engaging in routine activities anymore. Like you said, brushing your teeth, washing your face, getting out of bed. Or they notice that they don't enjoy things. They don't smile anymore. Or it can look like they don't even know what their values are anymore. They're not connected and living in alignment with their values. So it can look like that for depression. With anxiety can present with avoidance. The world becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. So they do less, they take less risks. And there's this could be a general fear of everything, a worry about everything. That's how anxiety can present. Trauma can also present with avoidance and fear. It's not just the flashbacks, it's also avoidance. Or you may notice, like, for instance, somebody is standing in line in a store and somebody cuts in front of them. And they go from 0 to 10, right? 0 to 100, as they say.
Right.
And that could be a sign that there's trauma to be worked on. Because if it's extremely intense, that's usually a sign that the past is the present. Somehow the past is leaking into the present. If there's an extreme reaction to things, that's generally a sign.
Right. And one last sign that I think is so important for people to realize that you may have a mental health issue is when you're saying to yourself, you can never do it. You're a bad person, or you're criticizing yourself, or I'm never going to get this, or I am just a screw up, or nobody loves me. You're saying these negative cognitions, negative thought, or what we call negative self-talk. And some people think, well, that's normal. Doesn't everyone walk around with all that negativity? But no, it's not.
No.
Yeah, it's a learned behavior.
It's absolutely a learned behavior. And some of the research has shown, our brain is generally wired. We have from 20,000 to 70,000 thoughts per day.
Yes.
And most of them are negative. We're wired to think negatively because that's how we survived. In our history, if we didn't look for threats in the environment, we wouldn't survive. We wouldn't have lived, right? So since the brain has that propensity to do something like that, right? That predisposition, we do have to guard our mind, so to speak. But the problem with when we have trauma or unresolved issues from the past, the brain can literally be rewired to be completely negative. There's hardly any memories left of enjoyable moments. And Dr. Brown, you can talk more about what people, can do with that.
Right, definitely. So we've been listing out all these things that you may be thinking about or feeling in the sense of mental health. And so now we want to kind of turn it like, what can we do? When we have these things. And Michelle, you've been doing a great job of differentiating what depression is.
Yes.
Yeah. And depression is that loss of interest.
Yes.
That, I don't want to do anything, lack of motivation. That's, sometimes that negative self-talk, where anxiety is that overwhelming feeling,
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And with both of those things, you're actually, to be honest, leaving the present moment. So as we talk about, one of the things we can work toward and healing or in working towards your mental health is learning how to be in the present moment.
Hey, that's powerful. That's powerful because as you said that's exactly what the research shows is that with depression, we're living in the past.
Right.
Most of the times, and with anxiety, we're worrying about the future. So
yeah. So one of the things is learning how to be in the present moment, but it is sometimes so difficult when you've got so much stuff in your head.
Absolutely. So what they found is with the part of the difficulty of overcoming these things is because there's a real neural pathway that is developed in the brain when we go through distressing events.
Right.
And so those neural pathways, we can't think our way out of that. We can't even do talk. There's so much talk therapy that you can do to access these parts of the brain. It would take much longer.
Right.
So what are your thoughts on that, Dr. Brown?
So one of my thoughts is, I was just speaking with someone earlier today who just lost their husband through death. Is when we have a negative experience, sometimes we just have to go through it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
many times we try to avoid it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
will like, oh my gosh, I don't want to deal with this emotion. I don't want to deal with this feeling. So I'm going to drink. I'm going to smoke. I'm going to just, go find something else to do instead of just feeling it.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so what happens is the traumatic incidents happen. We got all these feelings and we stuff it. You know what I'm saying? We put it in a
Absolutely.
pot and we stuff it and stuff
Yeah.
it and stuff
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And put that crock pot on. I don't know anything about cooking, but yeah, but we put
Get
something
it.
out and we say it's
Yeah.
not coming out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it does. It starts to seep either through pain, physical pain.
Yes.
People have stomach aches. People lose hair.
That's right.
Yeah, so
Yep.
much other stuff. They, like you said, verbally vomit and get angry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's going to come out regardless. People don't understand. A lot of people may not know that, but it's going to come out. Anything that we have not resolved and processed in a helpful way, it will leak out. It comes out sideways. It's like a filing cabinet. And you keep putting files in there. If you keep putting files in a filing cabinet, and eventually it's going to burst open.
right, right.
Yeah.
So sometimes one of the simplest things is just to let the experience come through you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, because this world is tough, so we're going to have negative experience. Let it come through you. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If you
Yeah.
could talk it out, would be great. Some people can. Some
Mhm.
people can't really physically talk, but they can write. And
Yes.
journaling it out is a wonderful aspect.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other people can't sometimes do that right away, so they need to just let it out. And like we said, the body, whether we do yoga, exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. What you feel you can heal. What you feel you can heal. If you're not allowing yourself to really get in touch with all the feelings and recognize that as a human being, feelings and the accompanying emotions are just a guide for us. It's just a guide. It's nothing. It's not threatening. So we have to reconnect to self, that part of us, right? And oftentimes when we've gone through a lot of pain, we disconnect from our feelings. So, like you said, the presence, the work that we can do in staying present will help us to reconnect to all of our feelings. So I tell some of my clients to get a feelings wheel. You can get it on I don't know if we sell it yet, but
Amazon or whatever.
yeah, on Amazon. But you can, just take time in the morning when you wake up, do a body scan from head to toe, and see if what you're feeling in your body, because sometimes feelings can be actual physical things, and they can translate to that. So do a body scan and check your body, and then look at the feelings wheel and name all the feelings you're feeling so far in your day. None is good or bad, right or wrong.
Right.
And they are like clouds in the sky. I like to tell my some of my clients, feelings are like clouds in the sky. They come and they go. They come and they go. And we can place our feelings on a cloud and see it pass by with no judgment around it. It's just acceptance of what is, because that's a way of processing things in our lives too.
Mm-hmm. And I love how you said feelings come and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing stays forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and just because you're feeling something, and if you let it just flow through, and sometimes it's even good, especially if you're in relationships with other people, and if you're feeling a certain way, it's sometimes to express and say, "Hey, I'm feeling very anxious at the moment."
Yeah. Find the safe others.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Yeah.
definitely a good way of being able to work through some of these things. But I'm glad you said safe others, because in reality, to be honest, you cannot talk to everyone about your mental health.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
They can mislead. They can do damage. There's a lot of information online, as a matter of fact, that's doing a lot of damage. I have to actually do some correcting with clients who've been using some of the social media You know, and they may mean well. They may mean well, but they don't have clinical training, and so you really want to be careful with where you're getting your feedback and information and who you're talking to, because they may mean well, but we do base everything we do on our research, and we're looking at things that work for people. So you really do want to get connected to safe others, and hopefully the counselors are safe others. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
But how does the person make you feel? Right? Are you feeling criticized or judged by this person? Maybe that's not the person you might want to open up and be vulnerable with.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And I know that people say, well, why even go to therapy? What's the difference between a therapist and a friend?
Oh, I love that one.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so you want to take that on, Dr.
Oh,
Brown?
yeah. Oh, okay. One of the things what's really good with a therapist is it's non-judgmental. You know what I'm saying? Yes. They don't know anybody else in your, circle. So you can go and you can talk about yourself and get work on you,
Yeah.
which is really critical. The second thing, like Michelle had mentioned, is that they understand mental health. So, and how the process of the brain works. And so the information they provide is accurate compared to sometimes just hearing from your friends and that kind of stuff. Yes.
Absolutely. That's dead on accurate. The counselor, our role, we may feel friendly, we may be friendly, but it's not our role to be your friend.
Right.
It's our role to provide a safe and secure environment that you can explore everything and anything you need to explore. It's our role to be non-judgmental, right? It's our role to learn interventions and understand the individual in front of us and which intervention is going to fit with this person. We do a lot of training and over 1,500 hours, even as a registered intern, of direct face-to-face client hours. There's a lot of training goes into it. Another piece of it is you're not going to always like your counselor or your therapist, because it's not our job to be liked per se. We hope you like us, but sometimes we have to challenge you because that's part of the process of growth. So that could be sometimes you on a certain day, but we ask that you keep coming back. You keep coming back, because that's the relationship of healing.
Right, definitely. So I know our time is almost up, but I want to ask you, Michelle, what is one mental health tip? And what is your favorite tip? And what's one mental health intervention that you love to give?
Across the board, our brains respond to nature in a healthy way.
Oh, yeah.
So please get outside in a safe neighborhood, safe area, and walk. Listen to the birds. Use all your senses.
Yes.
Listen to the birds. Look at the squirrels. Look at the birds. Look at the sky. Look at the babies. That's how babies' brains grow, is from exploring their environment. So that exploration piece, I think, is really removed from people today, especially with the excessive social media and constant screens and things like that. So get outside and walk. That's the next piece of it. Please walk, because bilateral helps to reduce stress. And that's a bilateral movement, walking.
Right.
Walking, ride your bike. Yeah.
Awesome. Good. So for me, I think one of the things that I remind people is that we can't believe everything our mind tells us. And as you said, it's negative. We have a lot of negativity that comes through, whether it's through our own social settings or through the media or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So just because your mind has a thought that comes through, it doesn't mean that it's you. And even if it's a negative thought, because we all have negative thoughts, doesn't mean that it's you. It doesn't mean that represents you. You can just let it pass through, like you said.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then the other thing that I tend to always work on is try not to think negative about yourself. Or say negative things about yourself, because
I love that.
I can't divorce Dr. April. Michelle, you can't divorce Michelle. We're stuck. Yeah,
for sure.
Yes. So we might as well love each other and love ourselves.
That's right. I love that, Dr. Brown. That's a reframe. I tell people, tell yourself what you would tell other people, because we tend to be nicer to other people. We tend to
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And all the religions and spirituality, they say, love your neighbor as yourself.
Wow. Yeah.
Yes. So we need to learn how to love ourselves and uplift ourselves.
Absolutely. That's
yes,
good stuff.
Definitely. Yes. It has been a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome back anytime. Yes. And so if you're out there listening, definitely check out Michelle. And Michelle, let people know how they can find you.
You can definitely find me on Cape Coral Therapist, yes, and www.capecoraltherapist.com. And you can also find me on Psychology Today. I'm just revamping and branding a new company as well. So I'll give you that information maybe in the future. But that's where you can find me. I do private sessions. I will also work for a nonprofit. And I love to use EMDR. Dr. Brown knows that's my favorite subject.
Yes. So do you want to quickly tell them what EMDR is, since we're talking about mental health?
Yeah, so EMDR is short for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. And simply, that big mouthful, it just means that we're basically using like REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. Like, when you go to sleep, every time we go to sleep, our brain tries to process the events of the day and even the events from the past. Well, EMDR is literally using a bilateral or dual attention movement. And we have a specific protocol that can actually pinpoint memories, distressing events from the past that have harmed you, that you still remember, you still think about. It's still present in your life. And by doing this specific protocol, it's like REM sleep on steroids. It can allow your prefrontal cortex, this is the intelligent part of our brain, to come back online and reprocess that memory in an adaptive and helpful way. So your brain will grow a new neural pathway with the new helpful information. That's a mouthful, but yeah, it does a lot.
So basically what Michelle is saying, as we said earlier, how sometimes when traumatic incidents happen and we are not able to process, we like stuff it, maybe we're too young to process it, or it's just too painful and it gets stuck in us, And so with EMDR, that helps it release it. Yes.
Absolutely.
So we can live in the present moment.
That's right. It's one of the best, right? It's one of the best interventions right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's the number one for trauma. So thank you so much, Michelle.
Yeah. Okay. And I've also used it with depression and anxiety and phobia. So it works I haven't seen anything it hasn't worked for.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. So thank you again for being on the show. And
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Brown. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
All right. And if you guys are listening and you want to know what's coming up, so in June 6th, next week, we're going to just have a rerun on what men want and dating and intimacy. June 13th, we're going to talk about sex and intimacy after cancer with Dr. Dizon. Then on June 20th, we're going to bring back play in your love life. And then on June 27th, Coach K and I are going to talk about the 10 best date ideas for date nights for unforgettable events. So if you've been out there listening, please let us know what you think about the show and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We will see you next week. And this has been the Bringing Intimacy Back show. And thanks again, Michelle, for being on the show.
Thank you again, Dr. Brown, for having me.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Bringing Intimacy Back, where intimacy is real. You can also find us at bringingintimacyback.com, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Dr. April Brown's 7th book series, Improving Intimacy, is now on Amazon. We'll see you next Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Don't forget to follow, share, and subscribe.